So I'm just out for a wee walk today. This is just a wee track. It runs parallel to the Glen Massan Road. But I was on this track yesterday and I had an idea for a photo shoot. So I'm basically just up here today just to stretch the legs while there's a wee bit of blue sky and biding my time for it getting a bit darker. Because what I want to do is, you can see there's kind of like an arch of trees. It's harder to see at the moment because there's so much light coming through. But what I'm thinking of doing is, when it gets darker, doing a long exposure here, a little bit of flash work just to lighten up the tunnel just a little bit, and then have an overhead shot of a figure standing there in the middle of the arch. I don't know if it'll turn out. I've got all my equipment with me ready to go for when I get back from my walk and it's a bit darker. I'll show you the equipment later on. So there's a few things to consider for tonight's shoot. First one is maybe to try and get there. Well, there's still a wee bit of light left, because that always makes the framing up of the shot a lot easier. Because that track would be a nice leading line. But I want to leave it late enough when I do the shoot that we're well into blue hour, so the trees are nicely dark and silhouetted, but there's some blue light peeking through the tunnel. What else? Yeah, I haven't decided yet whether it'll be multiple shots, so one shot for the background and then one quick shot for the figure with flashes, or just one long exposure with a flash at the end. So in effect that's two shots in one. One shot for the ambient light and one shot for the flash. The upside of that approach is that, sorry, this is quite a steep hill, well out of breath. The upshot of the second approach is the light levels, or the colour's a lot more natural, because the figure picks up some of the ambient light before the flash hits it, whereas the first one is, but because you're standing still for so long, there could be a little bit of movement affecting the focus of the figure. The first approach is a lot better from the point of view the figure will be crystal sharp, but you might have to do a little bit of colour blending on it just to make it fit in a wee bit better with the first shot. So that's two things to consider. Oh dear, I thought I was getting fitter than this. Anyway, oh, it's so nice to get out in the dry again. The rain has finally stopped, which felt like a fixture for weeks. And if it wasn't raining, you had the grey sky. So there's actually a bit of blue up there, which is really nice. So I'm just walking, killing time to the photo shoot. So just walking in a track above the River Corasic. I'm sure somebody will correct me on my pronunciation, but Corasic. I've done photo shoots there a few times. And I believe that's Ben Rue, just up there behind that peak poking up. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that as well. I'm not a Gaelic speaker, or Gaelic. Anyway, right. Maybe another couple of kilometres to go, then I'll turn back and then I'll start getting ready for the photo shoot. Right, so that's me got to the point where I'm turning back. I'm more than halfway through my steps, I'm more than halfway through my activity calories. So by the time I get back to the car, then I've done my fitness for the day. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this shot as well. Got a lot of kit with me. But one thing today the shot won't be is a levitation shot, because I've not got my step ladder with me. So it won't be a levitation shot, even though there's an overhead flash involved. And the other thing is, hopefully I'm wrong, but I've got a funny feeling this is going to be one of these shots where it's better in my head than what it turns out on paper. But to be honest, that's not the point of it. It's good fun planning it out, it's good fun doing it, and it's good fun trying to make it work. So it'll either work or it won't, but either way it would have been worthwhile doing. So that's me back from my walk. I should have taken longer over it because it's still another half an hour before before sunset, and blue hour doesn't really start until about an hour after that. So yeah, I'll probably sit about, just read my book in the car for a bit, but you can kind of cheat it a wee bit, you know, for the background stuff. I could underexpose it and then make the white balance tungsten so that the light's got a bluish cast to it. I might do that, I don't know, but the main thing is, as long as there's a contrast between the darkness of the trees and the blue of the sky, the night sky beyond the trees, I really want that contrast. So it's just whether underexposing will do that for me. But I'll see. If I get to a good bit in the book, the time might fly. So while I've got enough light to show you, I think this is the equipment I'm going to use for tonight's shoot. So we've got the camera, obviously, with the 24-70mm lens on it. There's a possibility I might want to be further back for the shots, so I've got a 70-200. I'll leave the shoulder strap behind. I will also leave the 12-24 behind, because I can't see me getting up close and personal with this shoot. The rest I'll leave in. Obviously we've got head torches, backup torches, we have remote triggers so that I can actually fire the camera while I'm the actual model for the photograph. We have a single flash, and underneath there we have the remote flash trigger. Okay, so we've got all that. I've got an ambient light here as well, which I may use if I'm actually sort of doing a video log. It'd be nice to have a separate light. I probably won't need my flash bag, but if I reckon I need a little bit of full light on the model, i.e. me, I've got another couple of flashes here which can be remotely triggered, plus various backup batteries and another full light there. In here we've also got some gels, which if I decide to make the blue hour even bluer by changing the white balance to tungsten, then I don't want the flash to also be blue, so I can put a red gel on the flash just to neutralise the flashlight, make it white again. Obviously we've got the GoPro, a couple of flash stands which I think will probably really just be used for the full light and the GoPro. I've obviously got the camera stand, the tripod for the camera. I've got an extra big flash stand, and I've got a counterweight which allows me to mount the flash horizontally to shoot downwards. So I'll probably put a very narrow focus in the flash so it's a nice tight pillar of light onto the figure. And if it's still too broad, I've actually got a snoot in here that I can wrap around the flash and focus the light even tighter. And then the hoodie there that I nearly always seem to wear during one of these types of photo shoots. So yeah, quite a lot to carry there, but because this photo is so close to where I can park the car, I'm viewing it as a good proof of concept, because some of the other places I want to photograph are a fair bit further out from where I park the car, so I just want to kind of see how easy it is to carry all this gear. Okay, right, it's not dark yet, but it's getting there. I've managed to get most of my stuff on, well, all of it actually, so it's kind of, it's not sitting too well. So, but I reckon I could go a decent distance with the weight. It's just more awkward than anything. But I thought I would leave now rather than later when it got dark, as if I go now, it'll at least allow me to set up the shot, work out where the camera's going to go, where I'm going to stand, where the flash is going to go, be able to focus the camera without having to mess about with torches and stuff like this. So it's actually getting dark quite quick. Temperature's dropping, it's down to 3 degrees. So I'd have to keep an eye on the lens as well, because I'm bound to have condensation problems on the lens. As the dew point, it becomes very, I think the dew point's 2 degrees, temperature's 3 degrees. Once it gets to 2 degrees I'll start having condensation problems on the lens, so I'll need to keep an eye out on that. Yep, this is definitely getting heavier. Right. Yeah, so by the time I got here it had already got dark, so my idea to pre-focus using the daylight didn't work. So what I've done here is I've just hung a torch on my tripod boom and focused on that, so I am now focused. So I reckon I've maybe got about another half an hour to 40 minutes before the blue hour starts, so time to get all the rest of the stuff set up. Okay, already I'm glad I brought the flash bag as well, because I made a rookie error. Oh, but it's not really a rookie error, I didn't check all the batteries of everything before I left. And that's mainly because this is a spontaneous photograph. I didn't really have much in the way of time to plan. But we've got the focus locked in for the camera. I have the flash remote on. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I've set the zoom level for the flash, which is this flash here. I've set that to 105mm, so that's really quite tight. And I've got the remote for the camera itself here, and I've got the trigger. I've rigged up this light here, but that's just so that I can show you things. That won't be part of the actual shoot. So you can kind of see, if I press this, hits the remote trigger, triggers the camera, and then at the end of the camera shot, it'll trigger that, which will trigger the flash. As you can see, it's actually starting to have a blue tint now. So I think what I might do is take some background shots. So what we need to do is, for this sort of photography, I need to take a clean shot of the background with nothing in it, no figure, no flashes, no flash stands, nothing. So that'll be my base shot. Once I'm happy with that, then I'll move this tripod and boom with flash into position, which I've already marked with my lens, my glasses case. I've basically marked where I'm going to stand down there. So I'll move the flash into position and the figure. I'll take a couple of test shots, get the exposure right, and then it's game on. Right, so I've got my base shots. Again, the reason for base shots is that when I do the figure photograph, obviously the tripod, the boom and the flash are going to be in shot. So in the final photograph you obviously don't want them there. So the base shot allows you to edit out, using cloning and stuff like this, and in Photoshop it allows you to get rid of the stuff that you don't want to see. So you're leaving the stuff you do want to see, which is the forest, the blue sky, the tunnel, and the figure. So you can see I've got the base shots here. So sort of different exposures. This to give me options, and then I've done a wee bit of external kind of lighting as well. I probably won't use this shot in its entirety but what it does do is it gives me options for putting a little bit of texture into the darkness if I decide to leave this bit completely dark. So again, it gives me options. So that's my base shots done, I think. No doubt when I get back to the car I'll think of something else I should have done. But now it's time to go and get the tripod and the flash set up and do a test shot for the figure. Okay, that's the first test shot. No figure, just basically trying to see how bright this is. Looks a wee bit far away, but when it comes to editing I'll crop in a bit tighter. So this is the first test shot with the figure. Doesn't look too bad. However, when you zoom in, I don't know, I think it might... I might just double check the focus, although in saying that, when you zoom in a lot then it does tend to look a bit blurry anyway, but it also looks a little bit blown out, so I might just drop the power of the flash back just a little bit. But yeah, I think I'll recheck my focus before I take any more shots. Okay, that looks a bit better. Dialed in my focus using a torch. I think that looks marginally better, but again, when you're at this level of magnification it always looks a little bit blurry. And I've just noticed that's my second camera battery in the camera, and I notice it's showing red already, so that's a bit of a bummer. I do have a third battery with me which I charged not so long ago, but again the trick is trying to change the battery without moving the camera too much. But yeah, that's, like I say, usually if I want to check if it's focus or, you know, if it looks a bit blurred, that's the maximum zoom. But if you zoom out a bit, then it doesn't actually look too bad. Okay, I think I'll get this battery changed, and then I think it'll be time for the actual proper shoot. Alrighty, taking a few photographs, different postures. It's getting kind of difficult because with the cold, everything's draining. All the batteries are draining and the remotes aren't working. Well, the remotes are kind of working intermittently, so it's not without its challenges, but yeah, I'll take a few more. I think what I might try and do is a really long exposure just to try and get some ambient light in. I don't know if that'll, and maybe even have this sort of shining down the path just to see what that gives me as well. So I think I've got the main shots that I need, so I just need to, I'm just going to experiment for a wee bit now before all my batteries die, because I've already, even the GoPro battery is now saying it's down to 30%. But yeah, let's have a wee play. I think that's my best yet. Not my best, but my favourite. I was starting to think what I might want to do is use a second flash at very low power, just to kind of, you know, light in from the side a little bit. But in this particular one, because I'm so close to the ground, the light is actually bouncing off. The light from the flash is actually bouncing up, because it's quite light coloured, the ground. It's bouncing up and effectively filling in my face from below. You know, effectively providing a full flash function. So I don't think I need to set up a second flash. So like I say, this is effectively standalone, this shot, but you have to remember eventually it's going to be combined with these shots. So we'll see how it goes. And you can kind of see actually it's almost freezing now. It's about 0. You can actually see there's a little bit of of mist off here now, so there's a little bit of mist moving in. So yeah, I should get interesting if it gets any heavier. Right, I think that's time to go. I'm getting cold, getting hungry, what a pint. And I think I'm just basically rehashing the same shots over and over again. So, and on top of that, all my batteries are giving up. My GoPro battery was fully charged and then died on me during the last clip. So I'm on my second GoPro. In fact, I'm on my second batteries for pretty much everything. So the batteries are draining fast. So that's it. Right, I'll probably, if the photograph comes to anything, I'll probably put the photograph at the end of this clip. So thank you very much for watching if you got this far, and I'll see you later.